Hey, this is Irvin Griffin, and welcome to another edition of Simpin Epidemic on all levels. And the subject you see here is a picture, of course, Mary J. Blige. Now, everybody knows about the divorce drama that she's going through right now with her estranged husband, Martin Keanu Isaacs. And I made a separate video on my VidMe channel. You go over to that site and see that, where I basically discuss and talk about how I'm not really celebrating it, even though I myself have said that Mary J. Blige was cooning and bucked into. I notice there's a lot of celebration about this, but for me, the reason I will not celebrate it is not because I feel, well, I do feel a little bit of sympathy for Mary J. Blige, but that's not the real reason. The reason I will not celebrate it is because, to me, to celebrate this would mean somehow patting Keanu Isaacs on the back, and he deserves no such praise. A man that basically used his own wife as a cash cow, who was supposed to be a talent agent, but had no other clients but her, refuses to work, wants basically her to foot the bill on everything, and on top of that is allegedly boinking her protege, Star Shell, I believe that's her name, who is a protege of Mary J. Blige under her record label, is allegedly, he's basically getting in her britches and getting between her butt cheeks. So, no, I'm not going to celebrate this guy. This guy, to me, doesn't even deserve to be called a man, in my opinion. At best, he's a hustler or a pimp, and not in the best of ways, in the worst of ways, in my view. And I know some have argued, say, well, women put these laws in. Why can't the man take it? I'm not arguing that. But I frown on it when women abuse the system or take advantage of the system. Why am I going to give a man a pass? You know? But getting back to Mary J. Blige, I said this on the VidMe video, and I'm saying this here. I believe in her case, she is one of those people that just wants to be loved. I mean, really, there was red flags with this Keanu character, even from day one. She, by her own admission, admitted when she met Keanu and first was going out with him, he admitted that he was still technically married and was in the middle of the divorce. Now, the smartest thing Mary J could have done in hindsight was tell him, hit the road, Jack. But the next best thing she did, she said, look, I'm not saying I'm not going to see you no more, but nothing else is going to happen until you're divorced. Which he did do that. And they got married, and they've been married for the last 13 years. And she always professed how happy and stable she was. But there was always rumors that the relationship wasn't what she said it was. In fact, there have been reports and accounts of the two, even publicly, arguing and fighting in public. And there's even rumors that minutes before she was supposed to go on the stage and perform, Keanu would often verbally abuse. Now, there's no evidence of physical abuse by Keanu on Mary J. Blige. However, he would verbally abuse. And some people might say, well, he never put hands on her, but sometimes verbal abuse is worse because you can't see the scars there. Scars from physical violence heals, but scars from mental abuse is harder to see. But, and the fact that he didn't have any other clients other than her, and that she's saying that he mismanaged some of her finances, should be should have been red flags all along. Of course, finally, she got fed up and filed for divorce. But if you look at Mary J. Blige's history, or alleged history, because I don't know the woman personally, there were signs that there's always been this self-esteem issue with her. Go back to her younger days when she was around Jodeci, particularly dating KC. There was always rumors of arguments and fights. There have always been underground rumors about Mary J., the drugs and stuff. And of course, which isn't talked about much, the sex. Much the way that some cats view Rihanna or Sierra, Mary J. was one of those allegedly as well. In fact, many say the reason she has never had children is because she can't, where she had so many abortions from where allegedly, again, covering my behind here, allegedly she had so many abortions that her, shall we say, female equipment, which would make her capable of having children, got messed up, where she was sleeping and having sex, allegedly, with these various dudes, KC, but we know about KC, but then there's rumors about the singer Case, and I'm sure there's others, where she was basically letting them go up in her raw with no protection whatsoever, and basically they would, let's say, release their specimen inside of her and be getting her pregnant, and then she has to go abort these kids because, she's making too much money and everything, and she's had to hide. I mean, when deep down, all she wanted was to be wanted and accepted. And of course, some of that Jersey girl or I'm not sure where she's from, but I know she's from like New York, New Jersey, that area. Some of that has never really left her. I mean, by her singing the Hillary Clinton, basically buck dancing. Hey, I'll still call that. And before that, which was just as bad or worse, the chicken wrap commercial for Burger King, which got so much outrage, it was actually pulled. And they ended up making another commercial with her that wasn't that great, but it was much more presentable. So there's a pattern of this woman wanting acceptance, but she's going to the wrong men. And unfortunately, it speaks to, while I've had my differences with a lot of what he says, Jason Black, the Black Authority, once had a video, which I think is still up, called Nerds versus Thugs. And one thing he pointed out, which I find to be true, women tend to be attracted not to a strong mind, but a strong personality. And Keanu, whatever else I think of him, from what little bit I've seen of him, he definitely seems to have a strong personality and charisma, which sometimes with women, they tend to go on feeling rather than logic. And I mean, I'm not calling females stupid or anything when I say that, but the tendency for females is to go on feeling rather than logic, and I found that to be true even in my personal life. But Mary J., by all accounts, in her own way, is a female simp, because she had this man that was paying her so much attention that enamored her, that she stayed in a marriage for 13 years when the marriage was probably over after about 5 or 6 years, if I had to take a guess, without actually being in the situation. The marriage was probably over long before 13 years. It was probably over after the first 4 or 5 years. But she stayed with it and put up with him because she really wanted to make it work. He, however, was not interested in making it work. He just saw a cash cow. He saw this still valuable singer that he could make money off of. instead of maybe using the fact that he manages Mary J. Blige, forget that he's married to her, that he's managing Mary J. Blige, to maybe bring in other clients and help build their careers. To where even if this situation still would have happened, he wouldn't be out of money. He would still be getting paid. And he's not thinking like that. I guess in his own way, he's a simp too, but he's more of an opportunist than simp. Mary J, of course, to me, is a bit of a female simp, just based on her patterns. And drama just seems to follow this woman. And some of it she has created. So I can't say I feel sorry for Mary J. Blige, because some of the situation she has created. However, I'm not going to exactly jump for joy and celebrate her misery either, because there's no celebration in this. I mean, yeah, she's maybe getting her karma, but how does that help us as a people? And that's a whole other topic. It doesn't help us that she's getting her karma. And on top of that, I can't, like I said in the previous video of Grown Man Talk, I can't respect this guy. I can't. And then on top of that, just as a man, I would say don't cheat at all. But if you're gonna do it, you never, this is the unwritten rule, you never boink her friends. Well, you never boink her family. And you definitely don't boink any woman close to her. This star shell would be considered too close. Not to mention a work colleague. No. Do you know the old saying? And I'm going to excuse my language, but don't shit where you lay. Or to put it in a cleaner way, okay, don't get your honey where you make your money. So definitely, and if I was the star shell, she might be enamored by Keanu right now too, but if I was her, I'd be very wary of this dude. And she may have just cost herself her career, but that's a whole nother topic. But anyway, that's all I got to say on this edition of Simpin Epidemic on all levels. I'm Irvin Griffin.